Hey guys, welcome back to another little mini reaction video. Welcome back to another little chit chat video. Before we go ahead and get into tonight's topic, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Shout out to all of our Purple Heart members. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. For those of you who didn't get a chance to join this live, don't worry, you guys will catch it once it re-uploads to YouTube. So thank you for all of your support in advance. Shout out to all of our new subscribers. Thank you guys so much for joining. We appreciate you guys. And yeah, so yeah, we're gonna just go ahead and jump into the topic. Um, I really kind of had to sit and think about whether or not I wanted to do this reaction video, whether I wanted to, talk about this. Because I don't want to come across, as doing too much or trying to be offensive or anything like that. I am fully aware that um, there are people from the United States who watch my channel, who support my channel, and that's great. And I appreciate the support from everywhere. There are people from all over the world who watch the videos and stuff like that. And I always appreciate all of the people who support us. However, with all of that aside, I'm a person who just believes in just being honest and genuine. And that's just how I choose to be. Period. I don't like to lie and pretend and do all that stuff. For me, like being a liar is like a form of weakness. And I just don't do the whole lying thing for what? I'm grown. With all of that being said, not trying to be facetious or to appear disrespectful, but Mark Carney, Mark Carney, my prime minister, Mr. Carney, his speech at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland was to die for. Okay? It was the best speech ever. Like, I think even if you're Canadian and you don't follow politics, or you're Canadian and you may be conservative, you have to like literally put that to the side for today and be so freaking proud of the Prime Minister of Canada. He made me so proud. He was the epitome of what it means to be Canadian, right? That steel in the velvet glove, right? We love that, right? He just embodied everything that's good about this country, right? He made me so proud. I just finished listening to his speech live on the news, and it almost brought me to tears towards the end. Like the way he drove the message home, like he was really trying to get the world to understand exactly what is happening, right? And I think his speech was so eloquent and articulate. His articulation is top tier. He was able to articulate very clearly what is happening, what is going to happen, and now the ball is in the world's court, basically. This, you need no crystal ball, let me lay it out for you type of speech was amazing, right? And I think the fact that he spoke so eloquently drove the message home because he didn't scream and shout and rant and rave. He didn't go there with like foaming and frothing. He just was level headed and clear as can be, right? That yes, you can acknowledge, yeah, okay, yes, this is where we are in the world, but this is where we are in the world as well. And it was just so well done, right? I'm not here to talk about, all of that stuff. I'm just here to say I was very proud of my prime minister. He spoke so eloquently, and he spoke so like with that knowledge, that education. It was just like, everything that we love over here. It was amazing to listen to him and to watch him on the world stage. There is such a huge contrast in cultures. It's like it's crazy. The difference is it's vaster now. It used to be comical, like, oh, we say a and all this stuff. We have so gone so far beyond that. Like we are so past that. We are so past that. Yeah, we are so past that. Um and as scary as it is, when you listen to Mr. Carney speak, you you snap out of it, right? You realize that there is a world outside of these news channels that just spread propaganda and fear all day long to keep the citizens like constantly on hyper alert and living in fear, almost like you're in certain country I know where they do that. But anyway, right, it's nice to just kind of get that reality check that there the rest of the world. Yes, we are attached in this continent and we share this hemisphere and all the rest of it. And what happens over there ultimately affects us and blah blah blah. But the reality of like not even close, not even close, not even close. Right? We adhere to a more British style system, right? And we purposely maintain that tie to the Commonwealth, and we purposely maintain the ideology and the culture that comes with that because we are proudly who we are, right? And most of the immigrant families that immigrated here from British Commonwealth countries anyway, so they come from that structure as well, have the same views, societal views, not cultural or religious views, but societal views. Our society want do what you want, but when you're in society, a civilized society, when people step out of those norms, right? Like recently, we had some issues going on where people immigrated here and thought that us off and we're all just going to be like, oh yes, and thank you and have a good day and all the rest of it, and they thought that they can continue with their criminalities and do all of that. And they also found out very swiftly why Canada is always referred to as the country with the iron fist in a velvet glove, right? Don't underestimate for their sorry guys, identity and their love for individualism. But anyway, yeah, you never underestimate that stuff. I mean, we could just break it down into layman terms, right? Who remembers the story of David and Goliath? Everybody claims to be Christian, everybody says they're Christian, so that shouldn't be a story that's like, so foreign. Yeah, there's always that little quirky, you don't ever want to come across so crass and so like we don't live in that type of world anymore. And so it was good to hear Mr. Carney kind of shake me back to reality. Like, yep, okay, they got this. Because for a while I was worried. I was worried that capitulation and becoming subordinate and just very refreshing to see that the old empires of old still have a little bit of they still have a little bit of a bite in them. Yes. I think people always forget about history, and it's unfortunate because it's always destined to repeat itself, and it's unfortunate. And as scary as it is, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm not scared. I am scared. Like the more this talk of invasion and taking over people's country and putting the American map over Canada and claiming us as your own is like, that's crazy, right? So living with that backdrop is not the most comforting thing, but it is nice to see that there is still hope for humanity, as we would say. It's nice to see Europe united. as I knew would happen once this stuff became a reality. So that's good. You may not win, but it's always good to fight back. It's always good. It's never good. And it's never good to give in to tyranny. And it's never good to like just roll over and play dead. It's always good to fight back, even if you lose. It's what your parents told you with the bullies at school, right? Fight back, punch back, as long as you get one good punch in, right? Everybody's parents said that. That's how you dealt with bullies. You don't fight. You don't go in the corner and hide and tuck your head down and hope that they'll stop punching you in your back, because they won't. You turn around and you swing one good swing with your good hand, and you land a good punch and make it count. They used to say, make it count. Because, after you land that good punch, they're going to wallop you good. But you still have to fight back. So I'm glad that the world has let the chips fall where they may. I'm glad that the world is still willing to fight back. It's very important. So yeah, I was very proud of Mr. Carney. Very proud of him. He's a good prime minister. I know when he first became prime minister of Canada after Justin Trudeau, we've had like 10 years of that. A lot of people were not a lot about the liberals and all that stuff, but I must say I'm so happy that Mr. Carney won the election and is the prime minister of Canada. I don't want to get emotional. I don't want to think about what Canada would have looked like if, the liberals hadn't won. And it was a whole different situation. It would have been a whole different landscape, I think. And I think most Canadians deep down know that. Say what you will, say what you may. When push comes to shove, we are required to unite as a country behind our leader. And Mr. Carney earned that tonight. He's earned that respect. And so for me, he always had that respect, but I didn't know a lot about the in depth of who he is. Now I see it. Now I see why they picked him to be the they did. Very level headed, very mature, very well worldly, very smart, very educated, very calm. And he was able to bring calm to the country because we've been on pins and needles. A lot of people will admit to that. So it's nice to see that a level head is at the wheel, as somebody said in one of the comments. It's nice to see that they're on top of it. Yeah, and it won't be just an easy roll over and die type of thing. So I'm happy with that. Let me know what you guys think. If you followed the speech at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland when Mark Carney spoke, let me know if you heard it, watched it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I always want to reiterate, right? I always want to reiterate because the internet is weird and people are very weird and unable to, you know, step away from their emotions. I'm going to say it again. Like when I'm expressing love for my country and everything that pertains to it, it's not an insult to anybody else. Everyone is free to love where they are born and where they're from. So if you want to be mature about the situation and remain an adult, that's great. I'm so grateful for you. If you feel like I'm personally attacking you or your nationality or your nationalism or whatever it is that you got going on, that's yours. You're entitled to that as well. That is not what I'm doing. But I'm never going to dummy down the love for my country or anything. Like, I'm never going to do that. So, respectfully, right? Thank you guys so much for coming through. We appreciate your time. Stay up and stay blessed. And we will catch up with you guys in another video. Deuces.